You know, the vitality in 50-50s, it's there's a lot of history there. You know, that was a full split of suffering. It came into one moment and it unleashed in the shape of punching the table. I apologize to Riot Games. We don't mean to destroy your property at all, and I will make sure it never happens again.
Hello everyone, this is Goalkeeper Darius, joined here by YamatoCannon. See, that's what the outfit is for. Last week it was Pool Party, this week it's Goalkeeper. Next week, I'm sad that we can't do this interview next week, because next week I'm gonna wear debonair, Darius, and that's gonna be more fitting, you know, wearing a suit and everything.
Don't exist.
Well, maybe I'm giving right suggestions, you know. It's gonna be a continuous meme. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. Now, you guys just crushed Fnatic. That's pretty fair to say. That must feel amazing.
Yeah, like my win ratio against Fnatic in my lifetime is holy. It's a number I don't want to look at. You know, it's very bad. I think this is the fourth time, or maybe fifth, where I beat Fnatic. Yeah, and I've been playing against Fnatic all my life. You know, I've been playing since season 1, season 2. I've been playing against these guys for ages. Fnatic is an organization that has a lot of history and a lot of strength, so it feels amazing to beat them. It feels phenomenal.
And of course, given the fact that Fnatic, according to a lot of people, a lot of players, was currently the best team in the ULCS, so beating the best one automatically, you know, lifts you a bit as well. So you're now in, I believe, tied 4th place with Schalke. So what do you feel about the top 5 in general, given that, you know, G2 won today, okay, but Misfits lost to Giants, Fnatic lost to you guys, Schalke won their game, you guys did as well. It seems all very close.
I think it's the element of best of ones, right? For our side, I just want to reach playoffs, and now we're also gunning to get the bye position, because I think the teams that established themselves as the top dogs in the beginning, I think they pretty much seized the opportunity of lack of preparation of other teams. I think G2, they had a lot of things going for them in terms of creativity, and I think that has kind of caught up to them. I think the meta has stabilized. It has a lot of room still to pull off something creative, but I think the meta is stabilizing, people playing more AD carries. I think that's something that is rough for Yarnan. I think he played fantastic on the Heimdallers and the AP carries, and it's going to be interesting to see how they solve it. At the same time, they committed a lot of energy and time into playing funnel, so they have some catching up to do. And I think Misfits is a team that I think they are the definition of playing structured. And, you know, I think structure is good, but at the same time, you need to be able to take risks. And I think this is something that Misfits don't do. I think when they fall behind and the enemy team is also playing structured, they aren't the ones that are looking for the play that is going to get them back into the game. And I think this is something that also is catching up to them. I think Misfits as a team, in the beginning, they're winning every game very, very clean, because they have a strong early game. They play very structured. They don't make silly mistakes like getting caught somewhere or leaving a wave or playing for the wrong objective, bad base timings. I think structure-wise, they are very, very strong. And I think the other teams are finally settling down on this. And I think when you speak about the conversation about who's the best team in Europe, I think Fnatic definitely looked the scariest, because I think they have the idea of how to play the game down, and at the same time they have an opportunity to play the game in a lot of different ways. I think they are very creative, and I'm very happy about beating them today.
In a very emotional moment when the Baron was secured, I saw a moment that I've barely seen, sadly, in esports before, with Kikis basically going crazy and almost smashing the table and his keyboard, and Jizuka also having a massive laugh and cheering with him. That must feel nice to see, you know, your players actually leaving out some emotion for once.
You know, the vitality in 50-50s, it's there's a lot of history there. You know, that was a full split of suffering. It came into one moment, and it unleashed in the shape of punching the table. I apologize to Riot Games. We don't mean to destroy your property at all, and I will make sure it never happens again.
I really hope they caught that on camera because we don't have enough emotional moments in esports.
Yeah, for sure. Like this is huge for us. You know, this was a big test for Kikis. This was a big test for us because last week we had 2 a week, but we faced the easy opponents pretty much. We had a tough game against Giants and Rocket. I think they just didn't know how to draft, so it wasn't much of a test. And today was the true test, and it feels amazing. This is definitely one of those moments that I will want to remember.
Definitely. I mean, Shox was the only person to predict that Vitality was going to come out ahead on this Shox had an amazing day predicting, being the only person I believe on the analyst desk at least predicting Schalke to win, and she also predicted you guys to win. So everyone lost on Misfits versus Giants.
Yeah, that's definitely a blower. I think Misfits need to rethink some of the things they did. I'm not gonna get too much into detail because I don't want to help them. We're gonna play them, you know. But hopefully they do the same the upcoming weeks.
Very exciting to see that. Now, that said, though, I will say that last week Vitality looked really shaky. The game against Giants, I feel like, was more Giants losing the game than you guys winning it. And also Rockhat, that game was not as decisive as you would want to see it against a opponent like Rockhat. But today against Fnatic, I mean, you guys had it in the hand for the entire time. Okay, the one push for the end wasn't as successful, but other than that, it looked very, very convincing. What has changed in the past week?
I think it's just time. Like we practiced, we had dividing scrims. Kikis was playing, I think, 13 scrims in total, and I think that's why the game against Giants, we pretty much looked like we were all over the place until we finally settled down and got a good team fight. I think the game against Rokat was easier to play because we basically had a conversation that, enemy team have Nocturne, we are 5 tanks, he cannot ult anyone, so we just, we look for the engage and we have Rakan and Swain and all these dirty picks, and so that game was very easy to execute. Like I think I could have subbed myself in and we could have won, you know. So I agree that last week it looked worse, but I think with more practice, Kikis is more acclimated with the players, and I think he delivered big time today. I think he really, really played phenomenal and deserved the 3 MVP awards he has gotten so far.
3 in a row. He's gonna stack them. I think that's a new record, I believe. But we're gonna look that up. I'm gonna check with the stats team for sure. So speaking of Kikis and the jungle situation, as the coach of Vitality, what is going on with the team there?
Well, like everyone asks me, like, why did this happen? You know, for me, in an ideal world, I would have like a Kikis for every position. You know, I would want to pressure everyone in this healthy way. I think Afreeca Freaks had the right idea when they had the 10-man roster. They used it, they utilized it to pressure the players, and at the end, they got second place when people expected very small things from them. Like the player that you recognize from the past on that team was pretty much, I guess, Kramer and Kuro and Spirit. And I think in comparison to the other teams, people weren't expecting as much from them. And then they had this 10-man roster going for them, and all of a sudden, you know, everyone's like, holy moly, we need to pick up players, we need to grab 5-man roster, we need to copy this idea because, you know, in an ideal world, I have 500 players, you know, that I just switch around, you know, and they just stand in line to play the game. And this is where the idea came from. You know, I'm always on the lookout for amazing talent, and I think Kik is, you know, he's EULCS champion. He got second place with Unicorns of Love. Lost against a very dominating Fnatic. So that's completely fine. You know, that's first place in my book because that year of Fnatic was something else. And then, you know, he has been playing for as long as I have. Like I remember playing against him in solo queue back in season 1. You know, I was playing my Nidalee with XP Quint up top and getting level 2 spikes, and I see Kikis running around. This guy played in World Cyber Games, and he beat CLG back in their heyday with Hotshot GG and whatever. You know, this guy's been around forever. And I think it was crazy that he wasn't a part of a team. I think it was a phenomenal opportunity for me and for the guys and for the team to bring him on. He brings a lot of experience, a calmness about him. He adjusted very quickly with our philosophy of how we want to practice. So in this case, Kiki's playing is a product of the competition between Kikis and Gilius. Kikis performed better, so he plays. And this is how things are going to look like for my entire future of coaching. I'm going to always look out for players to bring in, and in an ideal situation, have a 15-man roster that I can look over, and I begin to create like a system of coaches that I manage, and all of a sudden it turns into what other sports are today, pretty much. This is my dream.
I really like the idea. I think it's going to be the future 100%. It's just a matter of finances and budget and esports catching up to traditional sports. I very much expect this to happen very soon, and to extent it's already happening in China with the academy teams, for example, being literally in-house. I know more NA teams have started doing that, but in China it's been going on for a very long time, and some of them have even more than just 10 men. They have 15 people and stuff, and it creates a whole different environment. So probably one of the reasons why China will win Worlds this year, in my opinion. What's your take on that?
I think, the dominance of China was bound to happen because they have the largest player base. When you have the largest player base, let's say 0.01% of the players are good at the game and I'm sure the percentage is lower, but let's just say as an example. Then I think, naturally the environment with the most players are going to produce the best players. So that's why China has always been mechanically insane. Uzi AD carries from China were always like, holy moly, this guy, I'd rather not lane against him, lane swap, get me away. And then it worked because China lacked structure. In the past, coaching and structure, teams were ran by players. I remember when Uzi, he didn't want to play Lucian, and Insec picked him Lucian in a game, and he's like, I'm not playing Lucian, so I'm picking Vayne, and then all of a sudden Insec has to Lucian jungle in a draft. It's absolutely insane to think about it, and now Uzia has matured, China has matured as a region. They're taking the necessary steps of giving structure to these mechanically insane players, and I think that's what is evolving. The organizations are putting more trust into pretty much the coaching staff, and I think with that in mind, China is going to be dominant in the future.
I can only agree. I would love to talk more about the future and the vision of esports with you, but frankly, we have to cut it here. Anything you want to say to the fans, and do you want to create a hashtag for all the people that have watched until now, because they're amazing, of course?
A hashtag? Well, if you guys want to follow me, this is how my back looks like. So if you find me, you can just follow me. And the hashtag would be, I like the V for Victory hashtag. I don't need to create it, it's already there, but I like the V for Victory hashtag because that's what we live and die by. So V for Victory.
Very, very well said. This was YamatoCannon from Vitality and goalkeeper Darius from the Shotcaller. Hope you had a good day. We're going to see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, this is Darius from the Shotcaller, and I hope you just enjoyed that video. This is a generic end card, of course, so make sure to click here for a different interview, or here for a different interview, or about here to subscribe to the Shotcaller. We very much appreciate your support, and see you guys next time. Bye-bye.